Welcome back to the channel, Shop Rats. It's good that you're here. Today we're back on the Stitches Challenger. We got one little piece of floor pan left to fabricate and install in this car. Remember that this channel isn't about showing you some massive amount of completion in every episode, but rather we take the time, step by step, piece by piece, to show you what it takes to put a car back together again, especially when you're fabricating parts. This is about spending the day with me in the shop, so let's spend the day together. Oh, and while you're here, if you would, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a second and do that. I would be really happy if you would do that, and all the other viewers would appreciate it too, because you'll help the channel continue to grow, and the more the channel grows, the more I can do.
This is My Cars Shop.
When you look at it, we really have accomplished a lot. We've almost finished fabricating the 4-speed hump. We did all the floor pans on that side of the car, subframe connectors. We installed these pieces back here out of another car. We've gotten all of this up here now done. This is almost ready to install. We did finish this piece up in here and fabricated those parts. So we're going to be working on this today. So let me go get my gauge tool and figure out exactly what we're going to need to make to put this back together again. So the challenge of this is our gauging tool that we use to make all of that. Is we've got, I call it the big one. We've got a big one down here, a big one up here, a little one down here, a big one up here, and a little one down here. Now if I remember right, we made all of that in one. So we had to compensate for the accordion effect on the metal and so forth. So I'm going to get out my little, well, what am I trying to call it? I'm going to get out my tape measure, yeah, that's it, and measure this out and come up with a piece of metal. I'm going to make all of this in one, and then we'll cut that chunk out and where the subframe connector is. So if we go 16 and 14, that'll give us more than enough material to do both of those, because we're still going to have a 2-inch chunk cut out of it. So we'll go get that laid out, and that allows for accordion effect this way. As we start bending things, it'll be shrinking. I can't remember what the number was, but we figured it out, so we'll be fine. All right, we got a piece cut out, 14 by 16. We'll go ahead and get that ground up on both sides and cleaned up so that it's nice and it's ready to go. And then we'll start doing the layout for the the whatever you call them. I can't think of it, but anyway, those things. Note, turn the compressor on when you get out in the shop. Otherwise you're going to sit here for 10 minutes and wait for it to pump up. Oh, there we go. Now we can finally get to work. Okay, we got it cleaned up on both sides. Got our dimensions laid out so we know which way we go. And so we're going to take that over to the car and figure out exactly where we need to be. I did remember that when I laid this tool out, I did compensate for the shrinkage, so I don't need to calculate it, but I want to go through how to calculate that in case, and this isn't going to be perfect. But if you measure from, let's say, this line here to this line here, before we bend these bends, then after we bend these bends, you measure from this line here to this line here. That's going to tell you how much this shrinks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that we can just give you the number as we go ahead and bend these parts. So my edge on this must be off a little bit because I measured 5 1/4 here and 5 3/16 there, but I'm not going to worry about a 1/16 of an inch. So now that we know that from this line here to there is 5 1/4-ish, once we fold these, this dimension is going to shrink. And then we'll know for each one of these bends, and it doesn't matter if it's a wide one or a skinny one, we're going to know how much distance we're going to lose. Just went over to the car and measured, and the number we're shooting for here once this is bent is 4 7/8. So we're going to lose a little over 1/4 of an inch by doing this. So let's find out if that plays true or not. And I also need to go through and do my up, down, up, down, up, down stuff so I know what I got to bend where. Then we got to put our transfer cuts in this also. Marked it with our code. This is flat. This goes down, flat, and this is a down. It comes back up. This is a flat, and it's up. I only did my transfer cuts here, and I just want to make sure that everything is going to be copacetic and not so pathetic. But we'll go ahead and we got a unearth the sheet metal brake because it's snowing out again, and I need to, maybe I'll just shove that in front of the door so if the building catches on fire I can't get out of here. That'll be a good plan. Can't remember if I need to start in my middle and work my way out or if I can just do this all the way through. I think I can just do this all the way through, but we'll do this one, and if it doesn't work we can always spin it around and do the other side, but at least we'll know that our dimension for the shrinkage is right. So let me think. This one goes down. Yes. The other thing I need to do is determine my angle. So I needed about, what is that angle? I don't remember. I'm going to make some kind of a stop so I'm consistent. Give me a second. Oh, that was nice. Somehow I screwed that up, didn't I? Didn't realize that it slipped on me. So we're going to hammer that back out. But anyway, what I was wanting to see was my gauge, which I just made a little gauger tool, and yeah, our angle's pretty close. So let's go figure out how I know exactly what I did. I let that slip. So I got to pound that back flat and then we'll bend this again. There we go. And I was correct in remembering that I really need to start in here and work my way out. But I got this one done, so we will go here and then start from this end and work our way, and hopefully we can do all of these like that. But I got this one done, so let's go do this measurement now that we talked about and see exactly where we're at. And there we go. It's 4 7/8 when this is stretched out from here to here. I can't really do that by hand here and hold the camera for you, but so you can see that we lose about a 1/4 inch every time we do this. So our numbers are on and our floor pan should be close. Not looking for perfection, we're just looking for completion. But now the next thing is to go and measure, not measure, but put the transfer cuts in the rest of this and then bend this. Starting here, working our way that way, I do believe, I hope. One little bit off right there, but it'll be fine. So this should be close to lining up in there because everything shrunk a 1/4 inch. So, you know, with this many bends, we actually lost overall a whole inch in our dimension here. But that looks pretty respectable, I think. Hopefully I did it right. It's just a teeny bit longer, but I'm not worried about it. I probably should have double checked those dimensions as I was going, but remember that we have to, back here, it has to be longer anyway, so it's no big deal. It'll be fine. So, all right, now we got to determine how big we're going to cut this way, so that we can have a piece here and a piece over there. Marked it out 10.5 inches. That still gives me a nice piece for the other side. We'll get that cut and then we'll start fitting it to make it fit, because if it doesn't fit, then, you know, it won't be fitted. So then I'll have a fit. Very good. We will start to fit and trim this end down here to blend into the floor, and then we'll work on getting this end to fit against the subframe connector. And then of course we got plenty extra for this, so we're in good shape. One minor screw up, and it's really not a screw up. I made this square, it doesn't really matter, but this torsion or subframe connector is a little bit angled, so I gotta cut, you know, just cut that at a little bit of an angle to get that to fit in there just a little teeny bit better. But it's looking good. I think it's going to fit nicely, so no complaints there. But it's, you can see it's about like that when it's in position, so I just need to connect that cutoff on that end down to line up with that other end, and then we should be golden. Fitting a little bit better now. Maybe could take a little bit more off of this edge up here so it rocks just a little teeny bit more that way, but it's close. I can definitely see that. Well, is it? Yeah, it's not quite square. Well, I don't want it to be square to that. See, that's the hard part of this, is I keep thinking it should be square to the subframe connector, but it shouldn't. It should be square to the tunnel. And I think it looks like it's kinked this way just a little, like this, just a little bit. So that means I need to trim off a little bit more up here. So we'll get that done here real quick and we'll be back. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, but not bad. So, all right. So the next thing I want to do now, I guess, is mark that out and go ahead and cut that piece of floor out so we can start settling this down into place. Well, there's a hole. How'd that happen? Yeah, good. Now we can start fitting and trimming to get that down in there, but it's a good start. I think we got to do a little trimming in here yet to get it to fit over in there, because there's a little bit of a curvatire over there, but we'll start just wiggling it in there and seeing what we got. Pretty close. Needs to go down just a little bit in the back, but not much, because that floor needs to come up to it quite a bit. So we need to figure out a joiner piece. I thought it was going to overlap, but it ended up that it's not going to. I was hoping I could just run a cleco in there. I can probably, actually, I need to tick this back just ever so slightly. It's a little bit too far forward, but we're close. Yeah, you can see that we're a little bit far forward there. So yeah, that's okay. I think it's probably half an inch forward maybe, which is going to take care of this back here, so that's fine. Took me a second to figure out how I wanted to squeeze that together, but I realized this piece of floor has got to come out here anyway. So I'm gonna leave this strip in here because that floor pan's a little too short anyway. But I'm going to go back like 3 inches or so and just cut out a big chunk of that, and then I can just use my squeezers.
You know, my squeezy thingies, the squeezy, clippy, clonky, clampy thing that would hold all that together.
So everything lines up this way again now. It's down just a little skosh, but not bad. So that's pretty good. Fought with it a little bit. There's not as much of a lip up here as I wanted, and not as much of a lip down there as I wanted, and I'm scratching my head a little about that, but it's fine. I guess I cut it right on that seam, so I don't know. It doesn't much matter. So yeah, we're coming along all right. I'm not disappointed with that. All you can do is what you can do, and then once you've done what you can do, then you've done what you did, and there you go. The next step now is to get this little piece, you know, cut and fit kind of down in there where it belongs also. So we got a little massaging to do and so forth, but we'll get that done. It's all rough fitted now. It's good to go. What a pain in the neck that was, but it's all right. We're good, and yeah, I got to think about what's next, I guess. Hold on. Just like that, it's just about ready to fit. I think we're going to have to make the pieces to go on this side at least, like we did over there, because if I normally get this right, I can just weld it right to the subframe, but I didn't, so I gotta make a little fitter piece to go in there. Maybe not, we'll see. I need to think about that for a while. This side, pretty good. Our height needs to come up, and when the height comes up, things line up a little bit better, but it's good enough. It's a floor pan, so I'm not too concerned about it being perfect. I just want it to be done. It's under the seat. You're not going to see it, so Some days my lack of a brain just amazes me. So yeah, what happened was I had pulled this back right into the same position with this cleco rather than drilling a new cleco hole so that would come over tight. So yes, we can just weld right along that now to the subframe and it'll be fine. Yeah, so we'll have to form that in place and so forth. But here's where I'm at the moment. I have issues, and I don't have any tissues. The weather outside is crap. The shop is, you can see, is getting really bad. And I don't really want to weld in here until I get a little bit of cleaning done when I can pull the Oakland out. You know, we're still kind of locked here. I'm banging away. I'm also kind of held on that because of the weather. It's just about ready to shoot primer on, and so I worked on this today because of the weather. It's barely 50 degrees in here today, so no painting. That's why I did this. But plus, I just wanted to, I'm kind of snowed in today anyway, and I thought I wanted to do something that would be fun. So, but we're making great progress. I can't complain about that. So I think on our next one, what I want to do is, I was hoping one more episode would finish all of this. We still need to get this welded in up here. We got this done, of course. And this here is just about ready to put in. I've been out here most of the day playing around with this. I haven't filmed a lot of this because you guys have seen this ad nauseum. And so if you want to see details more on this, you can go find all the episodes on building all of that side, because it's all the same process. It was just lather, rinse, and repeat. But our next episode, I think I want to get this piece welded in. Maybe we'll, if we have time, we'll try to fit these back floor pans. We're going to have to make a little joiner piece. That side, I've got one already in there. This one, we need to make a piece right in here. So, and I think I need to get that done before we weld that in. You know, we just got to think these things through, and that's part of the process here. Is it just takes time to, okay, here's where I'm at. Where do I need to go next? What do I need to do to get there? Obviously, still a bunch to do, but it feels pretty darn good to look in here and see, for the most part, no big rust holes. There's holes we definitely have to patch and do some work on, but you know, we can't complain about progress. You know, around here, it's all about one bite at a time, and we've definitely been making one bite at a time. So that'll do it for this one. We'll do an outro and let you see. I did a little bit more after we talked there, so we'll do an outro and let you see the final product there. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We're over on the Face thing. We're on Instant Grandma. She loves us and gives us cookies, and maybe this time it's what kind of cookies could it be? Maybe mint chocolate chip would be nice. You never know. Anyway, /mycarshop. We're here on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff is important. Share the videos with other people. And the way we always end, the thing that's most important, and I love hearing from you guys. Every time you guys say this, it makes me smile, because it just shows me that you're truly engaged in what we're doing. Thank you.
Rock!